What are the red flags that people should look out for in relationships?
I think people who can't take responsibility is a pretty difficult one to live with. If someone can't say sorry, if they don't have that kind of humility, that's one of the more damning ones, I think, because it's hard if you can't take accountability, if you don't have the humility to look at yourself and apologize, you also can't really grow. It's why, one of the classic kind of hallmarks of narcissists is incompetence. Because if you can't take responsibility for something, you can't get better.
Mm-hmm.
So you just keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and it's everyone else's fault, and it's the world's fault. And so you essentially maintain that incompetence. And so someone who can't say sorry, or someone who can't take responsibility in a relationship, that's a really difficult thing to work with. That goes hand in hand with like someone who talks badly about multiple kind of exes, and it's just always everyone else's fault. Like it's if you've got a string of people that you've dated that you just keep saying how awful they all were, it's like there's something going on there, because you can't.
You're the only common denominator between all of these different relationships.
Yeah. So I that one I struggle with too. Not keeping promises, I think, is a pretty big one. It's, I think that's a big red flag. There's like a big red flag for staff and for people that you date. Because when you no longer trust that someone's going to do what they say they're going to do, it really breaks something in a relationship. Because now that you don't trust that they're going to do something, you turn into a version of yourself you don't like with that person. Like historically, the people that have ever worked for me that I micromanage the most are the ones that I don't think are going to actually get it done.
Well, it's that vigilance again. It's the night
hypervigilance. Exactly. If someone proves that if they say they're going to do it by next Wednesday, they deliver it by next Wednesday, I actually don't bother them at all. I'm like, I fully hands off the wheel. I'll see you next Wednesday. But when someone doesn't do it by next Wednesday and then they don't even bring it up, and I'm like, wait, you said you were going to do this thing today. I'm the one who has to bring it up. And they're like, oh yeah, well, there's this thing. It's like, now I don't trust that you're going to do it. And I don't even trust that you're going to acknowledge it if you don't do it. So for me, in dating and relationships, if someone consistently, we're all capable of breaking promises. Don't get me wrong. Like we all overpromise sometimes, or we try and take too many things on, and anyone's capable of that. But if someone consistently doesn't honor their word with you in big and small ways, that to me would be a big red flag. Because I can't, those things, to me, there's like just fundamentals of a relationship. Can someone take accountability? Do they deliver what they say they're going to do? Like these things are without those, you don't really have anything. If you don't trust someone to do what they say they're going to do, and if when they don't do what they say they're going to do, or they fall beneath a standard, they can't apologize, then you have a fundamentally broken dynamic that no amount of love is really going to it won't overcome it to be able to make you happy. You're not playing by the same rules in life. And when in any relationship, you're not playing by the same rules. If you and I have a friendship and I wrong you and I apologize, it's not the end of the world that I wronged you. You might go, I can live with it, and you've apologized. We're playing by the same rules.
Yeah.
You did something wrong. You get it. You've apologized. We're both living in the same universe. But if I do something wrong and you call me out on it and I say, I didn't do anything wrong. In fact, what happened was now it's like, oh, we're not even playing the same sport. We're not playing by the same rules. We're operating in different realities here. The danger of any relationship is that you think we equate proximity and closeness to a shared experience and a shared moral an emotional world. And they're not the same things. You can share the same bit of carpet with someone for years and think that you're on the same page about things. And then when something goes wrong, that person is like, you realize you're with an alien. That person, you know, I get stories of people who get sick and their partner's not like, can't be asked to take them to the hospital. And you go, oh, these are two people that like she or he thought they occupied the same emotional space, but they're on different planets. It just felt like they were close because they lived together, because they'd been together for so long, because, you know, it's like the you know, and even in any bad relationship, you're always going to be able to point to great moments. Like it, and those great moments really confuse us. But it is the equivalent of a broken being right twice a day. You wouldn't say that's a great device for telling the time. Just because twice a day, it was like, oh, it's right. But that's what people do with love. It's like twice a day, it feels good and it feels right. And then they go, oh, it must be important. But broken.